Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel M Chemistry. Hope you are all fine. So far we have discussed about Cannizzaro reaction and aldol condensation reaction taken from the chapter of aldehydes and ketones of 12th class chemistry. Now this time we are going to discuss about another named reaction that is also taken from the same chapter of same class, and today's topic is Perkin's reaction. What is Perkin's reaction? This is simply condensation reaction between aromatic aldehyde and aliphatic anhydride. Anhydride that is of acid. So this is condensation reaction between aromatic aldehyde and aliphatic acid anhydride. And that acid anhydride or aliphatic acid anhydride must be possessing at least 2 alpha hydrogens. Remember. So this aliphatic acid anhydride must be having at least 2 alpha hydrogens, and this reaction, this condensation reaction takes place in presence of a base, and that base taken also corresponding to the anhydride, means the base that is used must be made up of that of anhydride. So this reaction takes place in presence of a base and that base made up of that acid anhydride or corresponding to that acid anhydride. And this is simply known as Perkin's reaction. Okay. For example, this is an aromatic aldehyde that is C6H5CHO. What is this? Aromatic aldehyde. This is benzaldehyde. Its reaction with an acid anhydride. This is an acid anhydride. Okay. Now the essential condition or the basic condition is that the anhydride must be possessing at least 2 alpha hydrogen. Here you are seeing that here at least that condition is being fulfilled, and we are having 3 instead of 2 alpha hydrogen. So enough alpha hydrogens are here. 3 alpha hydrogen. Likewise here also we are having 3 alpha hydrogen. So basic condition is being fulfilled here. So reaction between aromatic aldehyde, that is here benzaldehyde, taken with that of acid anhydride in presence of a base For example, here we are taking CH3CONA, sodium acetate. So this is obviously corresponding to this anhydride. This base is made up of this anhydride, and this condensation reaction is taken place under the effect of external heat energy. So delta sign means this mixture is being heated. Okay, and what are we getting here in this Perkins reaction as a product? Is alpha beta unsaturated acid, that is C6H5 CH double bond CH COOH, alpha beta unsaturated acid. And what is this acid? This is simply cinnamic acid. This is alpha beta unsaturation CH, and this is the main group carboxylic acid. So this is alpha position, this is beta. So if we have a full name of it, the general name of it, that is beta aryl alpha beta unsaturated acid. So we may also write it as beta aryl. Aryl group means C6H5 group at beta position, beta aryl alpha beta unsaturated acid. And what is the name of this acid? This is simply cinnamic acid. You may also quote the general name of it, the IUPAC name of it. Cinnamic acid is its general name. And now, what about mechanism? If we have a look at the mechanism, we will come to know what happens and how this reaction is taking place. Now, remember here, this anhydride is acting as solvent. Anhydride acts as solvent. Okay. Now, let us have a look at this mechanism, which takes place in several steps. And the very first step is the formation of enolate of acid anhydride. Step 1 is the formation of the enolate of acid anhydride using base. Now remember what we had done in case of aldol condensation. There was also the necessary condition of the presence of alpha hydrogen for enolate formation. So in this way, in this manner, we may also say that this is also an aldol type condensation. So which implies Perkins reaction is also an aldol type condensation. Aldol type condensation reaction. Okay, now we may show this step as, now this is our anhydride, acid anhydride corresponding to acetic acid. So when 2 moles of acetic acid are condensed, are heated in presence of external heat energy, thereby releasing 1 water molecule, and we are getting this anhydride, acetic anhydride. Okay, this is acetic anhydride. means this is made from that of its parent acetic acid. Now in presence of base, as we have already this is the base CH3COO negative Na positive. This base takes this alpha hydrogen, this base abstract this terminal hydrogen or this alpha hydrogen. There must have been at least 2, rather we are having 3, that's okay. So one of these 3 hydrogens, there is equal probability, either this alpha hydrogen or this can also be abstracted. So for our convenience we are showing that base is abstracting this alpha hydrogen. So we are getting enolate as shown here. Now negative charge will be generated on this carbon because H is going to be abstracted from base. So negative charge on the carbon, and we are left here with 2 because 1 has been abstracted by the base. So CH2CO O C double bond O again and CH3. Now this enolate of this anhydride is resonance stabilized as shown here. This negative charge can go over here between these 2 carbon, and as a result of which this electron pair shifts to more electronegative oxygen atom, thereby giving another resonating structure. Now the enolate anion which is formed here in the first step, then in the second step this attacks and this shows nucleophilic addition onto the aromatic aldehyde, that is here benzaldehyde taken. So nucleophilic attack or addition is our second step. Nucleophilic addition of enolate formed in the first step onto the aromatic aldehyde. And what is that aromatic aldehyde here in this case? That is benzaldehyde. We may show this as, that is C6H5CHO plus this enolate so attack over here, and this electron pair shifts onto more electronegative oxygen, and in this way the valency of carbon is also restored, and we are getting alkoxide of this form. Now this type of alkoxide is being formed here as a result of the nucleophilic attack of enolate onto the another molecule, that is onto the aromatic aldehyde, or here benzaldehyde taken. Okay, so in second step we are getting this alkoxide ion. Now thereafter happens the third step, and what happens in the third step? In third step, intramolecular attack by newly created alkoxide ion takes place upon the anhydride end of the molecule. Okay, so in third step, intramolecular attack by the alkoxide formed in the step 2 on the anhydride end of the molecule. That is, we may show it as this was the alkoxide that was generated in the step 2 now this is the anhydride end. This is the anhydride end, and this alkoxide ion by means of this negatively charged oxygen attacks over here, and as a result of which electron density between carbon and oxygen gets shifted over the more electronegative oxygen, and we are getting this sort of structure. Now since O negative has been showing attack onto this carbon, so it is getting attached to the carbon. Now this negative charge present on this carbon can shift over here, and as a result of which this electron pair shifts on to this carbon. Now a question may arise in your mind that why only this bonds between carbon and oxygen goes on to this oxygen, and why not this? Now this is due to stability. If this bond comes over here on this oxygen atom, then we may have this carboxylate ion which is resonance stabilized. So this is due to the stability that this bond gets shifted over this oxygen and not this bond, and we are getting this another structure. So this is beta acyl oxy derivative. This is simply beta acyl oxy derivative. Which is formed as a result of this intermolecular attack in the step 3. Now what happens in the step 4? This beta acyl oxy derivative or this carboxylate ion or simply carboxylate ion, as I have already told you that this is the carboxylate end. Now this is acetylated in the next step, that is step 4. This is acetylated. Okay, so in step 4 what happens? Simply the acetylation of, since we have taken that anhydride as our solvent, I have already shown you in the beginning of this mechanism, anhydride, acid anhydride acting as solvent. So solvent is there, and this carboxylate ion or beta acyl oxy derivative that is formed in the step 3, this undergoes acetylation. So acetylation of carboxylate ion is our step 4. Oh, this is simply shown as So this carboxylate ion is undergoing acetylation in presence of this solvent, that is acid anhydride here taken. So simply acetylation. And we will get this sort of structure. CH3 C double bond O, and this one is connected to this methylene group of this part. So CH3CO from this acid anhydride has been connected onto this part of the carboxylate ion. Since this is the anhydride, acid anhydride, this can be exposed as CH3CO2 twice is this portion, that is again CH3C double bond O, and this oxygen is connected to both. So this is the overall structure of this acid anhydride, that is here acetic anhydride. Now this undergoes this cleavage over here, and this part CH3CO, this get connected to this negatively charged oxygen of the carboxylate ion generated in the step 3, and this will be released here. CH3CO negative, that is acetate ion, will be released here. So plus CH3CO negative. Okay, one part of this anhydride has been attached to this negatively charged oxygen of this carboxylate ion, and the other remaining portion is released as ion, and that is acetate ion. Okay, now what happens in the next step? In fifth step, this ion which is released in the fourth step, this acts as base and abstract another, that second alpha hydrogen from this entire molecule. Okay, so in the step 5, carboxylate ion produced in or acetate ion, carboxylate ion or acetate ion produced in step 4 acts as a base and induces E2 elimination or E2 reaction simply. With compound that we have got in the step 4, generated in the step 4. Okay, now this we can show as this was that compound which was formed in the step 4. Now this was here CH2 group, and one has been exposed, one of the two hydrogen, so as to show the abstraction by the base. and the base is that acetate ion which was produced in the previous step, that is step 4. And what was that? That was CH3CO negative, that is acetate ion. So by means of this negatively charged oxygen, this alpha hydrogen can be abstracted, and this bond then can gets shifted to the position between these two carbon atoms. So this then will become double bond. Okay, and when this becomes double bond, then the valency of this carbon is raised to 5, and in order to restore the valency, this bond between oxygen and this carbon has to be shifted towards more electronegative oxygen, and accordingly we will get this sort of structure. So C6H5CH, and then there has been generated the double bond which is shown as this, and then this CH part, this CH, okay, then single bond C double bond O, single bond O, then again this C double bond O and CH3. Okay. Now since it has taken this H, so it has become now CH3COOH. Okay, so one molecule of acetic acid has been released. Okay, now finally what happens? Acid anhydride is hydrolyzed to the final step. So finally what happens in the step 6? Hydrolysis of anhydride. Now since this anhydride is attached to this unsaturated system still, now this will be hydrolyzed and we will get our final product, that is beta aryl or beta phenyl alpha beta unsaturated compound. We are showing this molecule explicitly in exposed form here. So these hydrogens are exposed here. So hydrolysis in presence of water. So this is HOH means H2O, and we are getting C6H5, C double bond CH here, H also here, and then COOH. So it means COO, here comes that H part of the water, and OH goes here and it becomes CH3COOH. Okay, hope you are understanding. Now this is beta phenyl alpha beta unsaturated acid, and this is the cinnamic acid. Okay, with the release of acetic acid. Hope you have understood this Perkins reaction.